Okay, so this is a lesson version of Julio. So to begin with, obviously, bow on the stand. Don't need that at the moment. Right. So we start off with this first bar. Now you can obviously, you've got choices of fingers, but it's 3/4/4 or 1/2/2 depending on how you feel. I tend to strum this quite slowly because of the wiggle and the pause marking on the same note. So there we are. And H, Mark Summers, his shorthand is that H over the note is a left hand hammer without the right hand. Now this next bit, just make sure you're definitely in 7/8. We start F sharp A, which is extended, then we have G B, which is closed up regular hand position, and then A C sharp, which is also closed up. So the lowest one is extended. Now don't shift before bar 6, and we're 3/4. Fourth position, go up a semitone. And now this is going to come up a lot in this piece. Anytime you have a diagonal line like that, that means a slide. Now the end of that bar is nebulous. There's two additions. One addition has semiquaver quaver. This addition that I'm reading off here has quaver semiquaver. So or don't mind either way, whatever's most comfortable. Just a bit in that particular 2-bar phrase to watch out for is just make sure you get the left hand off for the open G at the end of bar 8 and bar 10. That open G. Alright. You get a slide in there. Obviously, get those fifths tuned, you might have to do some alteration there. That probably needs a little bit of right hand help to keep it really clean and crisp. Didn't do the right hand there, didn't get it crisp. Yeah, so in 18, obviously the bowing is, well, no, it's actually exactly the same. So clearly I just did something wrong there. Bar 19, we have Ponticello. So Ponticello close to the bridge. And obviously at that point we just work our way back towards the middle. Yeah, so up at the tip for those three. And you've got choices there. I mean, the penultimate note of 22 is in brackets. that means that he wants it lighter. You know, sometimes I just tie that depending on how I'm feeling. Now here particularly, 24, those notes in brackets are definitely lighter. Can't do it anymore. That's the idea anyway. Strength on the offbeats, semiquavers. And that bar always needs just a little bit of extra thought to make sure you get all the notes in the right order. This whole section, just be really careful that your faster notes are crisp enough. You may wish to do some dotted work. Just to get the coordination between the left hand and the bow there. Anyway, in the meantime, we carry on. Bar 29. So the way I tend to work this is that I'm trying not to emphasize the open strings too much, because otherwise you get a massive amount of whenever I perform this, I'm trying to just lighten off the open strings as much as possible. And then you've got a massive crescendo here. Now, obviously here we're in 6/8. So we've got yakati gakati ba 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 in 33. 34 yum bum bum ba la ba. You're still in straight quavers here, straight semiquavers. Sorry. Da da dum ba la ba da la ba ba da da di da di da 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 la. So 35 we're back into triplets. Again, the H's, as you put your bow down, now at this stage, a cross is a right hand tap, and H is a left hand tap. So if you also look at the notes here, you will note that the first two right hands are both open strings. Then you hit with the left, hit with the right, with the left still down, then hit again with the left up, so you get I'm trying to reduce the amount of hit there so you can hear the notes changing. In reality that goes by, so it's not actually that much of a big deal, but it's important to get it right initially so that when it's freer it sort of sounds right. And now for this phrase here, this next section, actually from the whole section from 39 onwards, it's important that you look really improvised and free, but everything is planned really stringently. So you need to work out which of your notes are going to have that, which notes are going to have this, probably first finger, and which ones are left hand pits. So I tend to do all of those with the thumb, just because they're longer. I also add, at the end of bar 40 and at the end of bar 42, I add an extra note with the left hand. That cross, by the way, for those who aren't aware, means left hand pits. So, now, yeah, bar 42, the penultimate note, this causes some disagreement here. Again, there's more than one addition, different notes in each one. The addition I've got in front of me has F natural, C and G, which is just not comfortable at all. It's tricky. You can do it 1, 2, 3 across. You can try and bar it. Well, however you do it, it's uncomfortable. There's another edition out there which has an E in the bass, which I find sounds better, but is also much easier to play. So, now here again, this is where the strumming becomes quite necessary in the faster bit. Basically, work out what you can do, what you find easiest. I mean, you might find that all of it thumb, you find that easier. I personally find a bit of strumming in both directions just makes it flow much more easily. And then of course we hit the end of 46, which is something entirely more fun. Now obviously every other note here has a cross over it, so we've got for that whole section, from bar 39 up to about 49, actually, that 10 bar section there. Other than this, I tend to be fairly free with the rhythm. As long as you've got 4 beats in a bar, as long as the chords change at roughly the right time, I think it's not vital that you do exactly what's on the page. Technically, but something with a bit more swing to it, I find sort of suits the piece better, personally speaking. But again, this is up to you. If you're interpreting it, you can have a bit of flexibility in this. And anyway, then next bit. If you're looking at my pizzicato there, I tend to do the accents with the middle finger because it's biggest and you get a stronger. And then the G and D string, I'll walk it 1 and 2 in either direction. So. Harmonics while you pick up the bow, and now in this section we are entirely free, very relaxed section. That was horrible, sorry. feel for it. You may wish to interpret that totally different. As long as you've got freedom and flexibility and movement there, I don't think it matters too much. Then you have a bar here which is improvised. There's a suggested set of notes. You can do what's written here. Free rhythm, free time, however you feel, or you can just improvise yourself. Whatever. That was not ideal, but you know, anything you feel there. Then we're back into as printed. Now that chord there, F sharp A D, just you've got to get your left hand really high to get over the D string. I think that chord happens 3 or 4 times in this piece. Big crescendo there into the pause, and then the last section is absolutely in tempo. After a section where you can take as much time as you like. So same deal there with the lightness on the down bows and the weight in the up bows there. And then we get into the last line. Same deal again, almost the same. But here we keep going one higher. So we got extended, close, close, extended. So obviously when you go up to speed, something in along those lines. Then now the way I do this is I do the first 2 on the C and G, 1 2 and 1 3, and then I go on to the G, 1 3, 1 2, 1 2, 1 3, 1 3, and then D major chord at the end. So you end up with to a certain extent. I've seen this slurred as well, you know. But I think that can get a bit messy quite quickly. Much easier to just bow it all out.